Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here with me today. I want to share a story that may change how you learn English forever. This is not just a story about grammar or vocabulary. It's a story about real struggle, deep hope, and the power of not giving up. As you listen, you will practice real English. Not perfect English, but simple, honest, and emotional English that connects to your heart. This journey is about one man who thought he couldn't learn. But step by step, he changed everything because he chose not to give up. You will hear his fears, his failures, and his small victories. You will feel his doubts and his courage. And through his story, you will learn how to keep going even when it's hard, even when you feel alone. So take a deep breath. Open your heart. You are not just learning English. You are learning how to believe again. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you feel. And this story is for you because you matter. His name is Daniel. He is 35 years old. He works in a small repair shop and lives in a quiet town with his parents. Every morning he wakes up early, eats a simple breakfast, and rides his old bicycle to work. His life is slow and quiet. He fixes radios, fans, and old washing machines. He doesn't talk much, but he listens well. People say he is kind but shy. Daniel never finished college. He left school after his father got sick. He stayed home to help the family and gave up his dream. When he was young, he wanted to travel the world. He wanted to learn English and speak to people from faraway countries. But years passed quickly. One by one, his dreams disappeared. He became quiet. He worked hard. But something in him felt empty. Sometimes at night, he looked at the stars and thought, "Is this all my life will be? Will I always be here, silent and small?" One day, a customer came to the shop. She was a tourist from Canada. She smiled and said, "Hello," in English. Daniel froze. He wanted to speak. He wanted to say, "Welcome," or "How can I help you?" But no words came out. Just silence and a nervous smile. After she left, Daniel felt a deep sadness. He thought, "Why can't I speak? I studied English in school. Why am I still afraid?" That night, he sat alone in his room. He opened an old notebook from school. It was full of English words, but now they felt like strangers. He whispered, "I'm too old. I'm too slow. I can't learn now." Then he closed the book and turned off the light. But something inside him didn't want to give up. A small voice said, "Try again, just one more time, for yourself." The next morning, Daniel opened that notebook again. He read the words out loud, slowly, softly, just to himself. For the first time in many years, he spoke English not to pass a test, not for school but for himself and for his dream. It felt strange. His voice shook. His mouth felt dry. But in that small moment, something began to change. Daniel started reading one English sentence every morning. He read it out loud, even if it sounded strange or if he made mistakes. He looked at the mirror while reading. He saw his lips move, his face try, his voice rise and fall like waves. At first, he could not remember the words. He forgot them after a few minutes. He felt slow. He felt embarrassed, even alone. But still, he kept going. Every morning, one sentence. He didn't study grammar rules. He didn't care about perfect. He just practiced. One day, he said to himself, "Hello, my name is Daniel. I fix machines." He laughed. It felt silly. But also, it felt good. Then he started talking to himself in English while fixing fans. "This fan is broken. I need a new wire." He smiled quietly. It was called self-talk. He didn't know the name, but he used it, speaking simply to himself in his own rhythm and space. Some days he forgot to do it. Some days he was tired or busy. But most days he tried just a little, just enough. After 2 weeks, he could say more than before. Not fast, not fluent, but his mouth felt braver. His heart felt stronger. He began to enjoy learning again. He downloaded a free English app. He repeated words. He practiced small phrases before bed. He whispered in English when he walked home. The sky is blue. I see a bird. I feel tired, but I'm okay. Simple things. Daniel didn't tell anyone. This was his quiet journey. No teachers, no classmates. Just him, his notebook, and his little hope. Then one morning, he heard a word in a movie he recognized. It was repair. He smiled and said, I know that word. That's mine. But learning wasn't easy every day. Some days, he forgot everything. Some days, he thought, this is useless. I will never speak well. He made many mistakes. He said I is instead of I am. He forgot words. He got stuck in the middle of sentences. But he kept going, because every mistake was a sign of effort. Every word was a step, and every step brought him closer. He didn't wait to feel ready. He didn't wait for perfect. He just started. And in starting, he was already winning. After 1 month, Daniel felt something new. His fear was still there, but smaller. His voice was still soft, but clearer. One evening, he watched a YouTube video called Learn English Through Shadowing. He listened. Then he repeated each sentence after the speaker. At first, it was hard. The voice was fast. His mouth moved too slow. He missed words. He felt confused. But he didn't stop. He paused the video, played it again, and repeated one line, then another, again and again and again. That was his new habit. Every night, before sleeping, he chose one short video and shadowed it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes more. He stood in front of the mirror. He looked into his own eyes while speaking. I am learning. I am trying. I will not quit. After 2 weeks of shadowing, he noticed his mouth move more easily. His rhythm was better. His ears understood faster. He laughed more, not because he was perfect, but because he saw progress. He saw a light inside something that once felt dark. One day, while eating lunch outside, a tourist asked him, "Excuse me, do you know where the market is?" Daniel froze, but only for a second. He said, "Yes, go straight, then turn left." His voice shook, but he did it. The tourist smiled and said, "Thank you." After she left, Daniel sat in silence. Then tears came. Just a little, happy tears, because this time he didn't hide. He spoke. It was the first time in years he felt proud of himself. Not for being smart, but for being brave. Just brave enough. He added another method, the 3-pass method for listening. First, he listened to a story without stopping. Just listened. No pressure. Second, he listened again and read the subtitles. Slowly. He repeated lines that touched him. He didn't care about mistakes. Third, he listened again without subtitles. This time, it felt easier. Not perfect, but clear. Like walking through fog and seeing a road. He wrote down new words, but not too many. Just 5 a day. And he used them in his self-talk. Words like fix, confused, smile, strong, repeat. These became his tools. Not just for speaking, but for living. Every small success gave him new energy. Every kind word, every clear sentence made him feel more alive, more possible. Daniel began to believe, maybe slowly, maybe quietly, but truly believe he could do this. He could speak English. One rainy morning, Daniel arrived at work and saw a sign on the door, "Closed until further notice." His hands shook. His chest felt tight. The shop owner had health problems. No one knew when it would open again. Daniel lost his job that day with no warning. He rode his bike home slowly. The wind felt cold. His head was full of worry. His heart was full of fear. At home, he sat on his bed and stared at the wall. He thought, "What's the point? Why am I learning English now?" He stopped practicing for 3 days. No self-talk. No shadowing. No notebook. Just silence and heavy thoughts. He felt like a failure again. Like the old Daniel, the one who gave up, who stayed small, who didn't believe in change. But on the 4th day, he opened his phone. He found an old voice recording of himself. "I can do this," it said. He smiled. It was his own voice, weak but brave. It reminded him of how far he had come. It woke something inside. He picked up his notebook. He wrote 3 words, still, "I can." Then he said them out loud, again and again. He went outside, walked around the block, looked at trees, breathed deeply, then whispered, "One more time. One more try." That night, he watched a short English video. He repeated the first line 3 times. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. He remembered that learning was not about speed. It was about showing up, even on bad days, even with a broken heart. He found a free English conversation group online. They met once a week, just to practice and help each other. He joined, even though he was scared. His voice shook, his hands were cold, but he said hello. He listened. He smiled. That group gave him light, real people, real words, real mistakes, but also real connection, real laughter, real support. They didn't laugh at his English. They said, "Great try, Daniel." One woman said, "Your voice is very warm." That made him cry. He learned something deep that week. That English is not just grammar. It's connection. It's courage. It's the language of trying again. 6 months later, Daniel still didn't have a full-time job. But something else had changed. He spoke English every day with strangers, with friends, with himself. He started helping other learners in the online group. He answered questions, shared tools, and said, "Don't worry, I was like you." One day, the group leader asked him, "Daniel, would you like to share your story next week?" He felt nervous, but he said yes. He wrote down his story in simple words. He practiced each part. He whispered it while walking. He shadowed it line by line. When the day came, his hands shook, but his voice did not. He spoke slowly, clearly, with heart. Everyone listened in silence. He ended with this, "I thought I was too old, too late, too weak. But I learned one thing. It's never too late to try." After the meeting, someone sent him a message. "Thank you. I was going to quit, but now I will try one more time." That night, Daniel cried not because he was sad, but because he saw how far he had come. He was not the same man anymore. He used to be silent. Now he shared his voice. He used to be afraid. Now he gave hope. He used to hide. Now he helped. He looked in the mirror and said, "I am not perfect, but I am strong. I am learning. I am growing. And I will keep going." Daniel's English was still not perfect. He still made mistakes. But now he saw mistakes as steps, not stops. He believed in slow learning, in brave practice, in real connection. And most of all, he believed in himself. He wrote down 5 lessons in his notebook. Start small, but start today. Talk to yourself with kindness. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Make mistakes and smile through them. Don't do it alone. Find your people. Then he wrote one more line in bold letters. This is your turn. Start today. He closed the notebook. He smiled, because now he knew English had not just changed his words. It had changed his life.